Hello, hi everyone. My name's Devin Canaz. I am the publisher of Travelweek. We have another very exciting Travelweek webinar today where we're going to be learning about the beautiful islands of Hawaii, a great destination this winter. It's starting to get cold here, so we're thinking about our winter vacations already. So before I hand it over, I just want to let you know if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box and we're going to get to them at the end. It's also very imperative that you stay till the end because we have a very wonderful prize today that Carla will tell you about. And if you have any technical problems, you can put them in the chat and my assistant will get to them shortly. So I would like to introduce a representative from Vox International. This is Carla DeAndrea, and she is the Eastern Canada representative for Hawaii. Hello, Carla.
Hi, thanks for having me. Mahalo for the wonderful introduction. I'm so happy to be here and I appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy schedules to join us. So, as Devin mentioned, I'm the account manager for Eastern Canada. And if you're tuning in from the West, you probably already know Gustavo. He's the account manager for Western Canada. At the helm, we have Colin. And so we like to say we have the whole country covered coast to coast with the Aloha spirit. So before we get started, Devin mentioned some prizes. So we have two of them today. So a little incentive for you to stay with us. The first one is a fabulous 2 night stay at the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, a wonderful way to experience the best of the island of Hawaii, and is generously donated by my friend Christopher, who I'm going to introduce formally in a little while. And then if for everybody who stays to the end, you'll be eligible to win a $200 Air Canada gift card as well, and that's to kickstart your own Hawaiian adventure. So just a reminder, WestJet will resume direct flights from Vancouver and Calgary to Kona, and Air Canada offers direct flights from Vancouver to Kona. So obviously from the rest of Canada, you can usually connect really easily through Vancouver or any other of the convenient US hubs. And don't forget, we have Aloha Canada coming up. It's actually the first week of December, and it's going to be in various cities across Canada. Our island partners, the hoteliers, experience providers will all be flying in to share their latest and greatest straight from the Hawaiian Islands. And agents who are already Hawaiian experts um, will receive their invitation like any day now if they haven't received it already. But it's not too late to register. So if you go to agents.gohawaii.com and register to become a Hawaiian specialist, and just let me know that you've done that, I'll send you a personal invitation. So we encourage you to register today, and those invitations will be sent out shortly. So now I am delighted to welcome our two expert presenters. First, we're going to start with Kalei. She's the sales manager of the Island of Hawaii Visitors Bureau. And then my friend Christopher, the area sales manager for the Westin Hapuna Beach Resort and the Mauna Beach Hotel. So let's get started. Kalei, the stage is yours.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Carla and I'm the sales manager for the Island of Hawaii Visitors Bureau. Now let me go ahead and share my screen with you folks real quick so we can get this presentation underway. All right. So if you're unfamiliar with the island of Hawaii, you can see here on the map, just showing you that we are located on the southern point of the Hawaiian chain. Before I get started and get into information regarding my island, I do want to introduce my team. So first I have Scott Pauly, who is my executive director, Donna Kimura, who's our director of marketing, Deanna Isbister, who's my director of sales. And for those of you who are attending Aloha Canada the first week of December, you folks will have an opportunity to meet with Deanna and then myself. So if you're not completely familiar with the island of Hawaii, we do have brand messaging for all of our different islands, as they're all unique in their own ways. So our brand messaging is inspiring. And what makes it inspiring? It's to me, truly the diversity of the island. You know, you have so many beautiful colors when you visit here, from the greens to the whites and the black sandy beaches and the blues of the ocean. Also, what's wonderful is that you have one of a kind experiences when you visit that island. So you can really truly experience a vacation within a vacation when you come to the island of Hawaii. So I know many folks tend to call Hawaiʻi Islands the Big Island, and trust me, I won't hold it against you. I know she's a big girl, right? But you know, our travel advisors and our partners, you know, you folks are our first line of defense. So when you do talk to your customer, we highly encourage that you use her name, and her name is Hawaiʻi Island or the island of Hawaii. Again, won't hold it against you. Again, going back to the fact that she is a big girl, but why is she big, you know? And it's, again, we're going back to that diversity, right? So you have Hawaii Island, which is the largest and the youngest of the Hawaiian Islands. You know, most often we're mistaken for Oahu, but we're not. Fun fact is that you can actually fit all the Hawaiian Islands onto Hawaii Island and still have room to spare. And Volcanoes National Park specifically is roughly the same size as the island of Oahu. Another thing that's very unique, we're going back to diversity here, right? So out of the 22 subclimate zones that we have in the world, we have all but 4. So if you actually look at the grid here of Hawaii Island, you'll actually see that on the northern tip of the island, we get less than 10 inches of rain a year. And within an hour's drive to the eastern end of the island, we get over 300 inches of rain a year. So again, that diverse experience for your customer when they're wanting to visit a destination, they're thinking about island hopping, but why island hop when you can actually experience that all on one island just in a driving distance? So again, think of Hawaii Island when you're being inspired as diverse landscapes, diverse cultures, diverse experiences, big in size, big in heritage, and especially aloha. So I'm going back to the uniqueness of our island. So one island, 2 gateways. Not a lot of folks know that we actually have 2 airports. So this gives you a good snapshot of the direct flights that come into the Kona airport from international as well as domestic US. For the Hilo airport, however, it's only inter-island flights. Now you can get really creative with that, and that's why I go back to you can have a vacation within a vacation. So you can start off on the western region of the island. That's where Kona International Airport is located, where we have our direct flights that come in and out of Canada. And that is where a lot of the resort areas are located. It's a little bit drier. That's where you're going to find your white sandy beaches. What's really unique is when you are actually landing at Kona International Airport, you're landing on an ancient lava flow. So no, you're not landing on the moon. You're landing on an ancient lava flow. Now, when you end up traveling to the other end of the island, which is the eastern end of the island, that's where you're going to find your rainforest. You're going to see your waterfalls. It's luscious, it's green, it's absolutely beautiful, but complete opposite to the western region of the island. And so your customer can travel into Hawaii directly into the Kona International Airport, enjoy a few days on the western region of the island, and the other half of their vacation enjoy their time on the eastern end of the island, where they can enjoy Volcanoes National Park and exit through the Hilo airport. Even though it's inter-island, they could maybe connect into Honolulu and go directly back to Canada. So a lot of really unique options. Now, for those of you who haven't visited our island in a while, or who are still expecting to visit us one day, let me introduce you to the island of Hawaii. Now, I hope after that you folks are inspired to come visit me on the island of Hawaii. So as you saw in that video, there is something for everyone. Usually folks just think that all we have is a volcano, but we have so much more to offer you and your guests when they visit the island of Hawaii. So first, I want to share a quick snapshot of our resort areas, or areas where you'll see a cluster of hotel properties that can accommodate your guests. So on the southwestern region, you have the Kona Coast, where they have Ali'i Drive. That's actually one of the last true boardwalks that you'll find in the state. Then we also have Hualalai Resort area, which is more luxury. Then Kohala Coast, that's where you're going to find your Waikoloa Beach Resort. You'll find Mauna Lani Resort, as well as Mauna Kea Resort. And then on the eastern end of the island, that's where you're going to find the Grand Naniloa and the Hilo Hawaiian Hotel, which is located right on Banyan Drive. We also have some really cute boutique little style hotels that you'll find throughout the island. For example, Waimea Country Lodge, and at Volcanoes National Park, they also have the Kilauea Lodge and Hawaii Volcano House. Now again, when you think of land adventures, think about it, we've got it. We've got everything from horseback riding, ATVs, zip line, visiting waterfalls such as Akaka Falls, which is about over 400 feet scaling as far as like the cascading waterfall. So again, you name it, we've got it when it comes to our land adventures. And the same with our sea adventures. You know, what's really unique about Hawaii Island is our manta dive experiences that take place in the evening. And you can find those over in the Keauhou area, which is on the South Kona region, as well as at the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel. But outside of that, we have, you can canoe, you can go boating and snorkeling, so many wonderful options for your guests. Now, what makes Hawaii Island so unique? For us, it's our science and our culture. And so we are not limited to what I'm sharing with you on this screen. There's so much more to offer, but these are a few options that I'd like to share with you folks. So like the Kona Cloud Forest Sanctuary. This is just minutes up the road from the Kona International Airport. It's actually on the slopes of Hualalai Volcano. What's really unique is people think of forests as rainforests, right? This is unique because it's a cloud forest. So a lot, the leaves and the plants actually capture the mist from the clouds, and that's what actually keeps that forest nourished. And so globally, there's less than 1% of cloud forests. So a very unique, inspiring experience for your guests. Another is Imumea'ai. So not your traditional luau experience, but they really pride themselves in teaching authentic traditional ways of preparing Hawaiian foods. So you participate, and you'll see in that picture on the bottom right hand side of your screen, where you're actually building an underground oven. And then after that, you enjoy some local food that's actually prepared in this traditional manner. And then you learn about Hawaiian practices and values and the importance of stewardship. Another is the Kona Sea Salt Farm, which is located at Nelha, again, about 5 minutes away from Kona International Airport. So this is located on an ancient Hawaiian fishing grounds. They do educational tours, salt tastings, and foot soaks. What's really unique is that their products are actually cooled 2,200 feet below sea level. So it's pure and clean product, right? And then also, not a lot of folks know, but our Punaluʻu heritage, we have over 200 years of cowboy culture on the island of Hawaii. So we have some beautiful museums that you can visit to learn more about that, as well as book a tour or horseback riding, watch a rodeo, or even enjoy our annual Paniolo Festival, which is held every September in the town of Waimea. So again, just very unique, diverse experiences for your guests. Now, so outside of Volcanoes National Park, I know guests tend to want to visit Mauna Kea, which is a beautiful mountain. It's actually our tallest mountain in the world when measured below sea level. The views are absolutely amazing, where you can actually see 90% of space. A lot of what is discovered in space comes from Mauna Kea observatories. But let me recommend that if you were to book a tour, that you go with a reputable, permitted and licensed tour operator. It's really, really important because of that drastic change in elevation. So you want to make sure your guest has a very wonderful experience. Another is stargazing. You can actually participate or book a tour where they do stargazing, which is about halfway up the mountain. Again, still getting that wonderful experience of viewing the universe without actually having to go all the way up to the observatory. And then Hawaii Island is actually known for its national parks. So out of the 9 in the state, we have 5 national park services. So of course, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, Pu'uhonua Honaunau, Kalokohonokahau, Alakahakai, and one of my favorites is Pu'ukohola Heiau. Pu'ukohola is actually located on the northern end of the island. And if any of you have been following that show, Chief of War, that heiau was actually created before Kamehameha unified the Hawaiian Islands. So it's really great to learn about the culture and the history when you visit these amazing sites on the island. Now, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, I know that's actually the bucket list for most guests visiting the island. It is the #1 attraction on our island. Now, we always get that question though, is she active? She's always active. The question is she erupting, right? So she just finished her 35th episode about a few weeks ago. Or about a week or so ago, and we're anticipating any day now that we're going to experience episode 36. You can actually follow their social media platforms or their website to get real-time information. I really encourage, when you do speak to your guests, that you do inform them of the fact that they might not actually see an eruption, but if they don't see the eruption, there's still so many wonderful things they can actually do at Volcanoes National Park, such as hiking and seeing the steam vents, or actually touring a lava tube. So do note though that it does cost $30 per vehicle to enter into the park, but that pass is actually good for 7 days. And what's great is that there are no required reservations needed in advance. Now, for your guests who love golfing, we actually claim the title of Golf Capital of Hawaii. We have the most oceanfront holes than any other island in the Pacific area. We actually hold the PGA tournament at Hualalai 4 Seasons every January. And if you do tune in, you might actually see me and my halau performing at the 18th hole whenever we celebrate the winner. Now, local festivals and special events. I know that advisors tend to build itineraries around special events and programs because it creates, again, an inspiring, unique experience for your guests. So just kind of pointing out a few that's really popular is our Malama Honu Turtle Independence Day that's actually held on the 4th of July. And it's at the Maunalani Resort, Alberge, where they actually release Hawaiian sea turtles back into the ocean waters. As you know, they're endangered, so we highly encourage that you share with your guests, to enjoy them from afar. Please, no touching. Another really popular event is the Merry Monarch Hula Festival, which is considered the Super Bowl of hula. It's funny, in order to remember when this event is held, just always know it's the week after Easter. All right, so, and we have people from all over the world that come to this festival. It's a week long, it's amazing. And then, so I do want to share some what's new with you. So Kona International Airport is going through a renovation. It's anticipated to be completed in spring of 2026, but there is no impact on flights whatsoever. Also, same, Hawaiʻi Volcanoes National Park is going through construction. They are not closed, but there will be areas of closure. So again, follow their social media platforms and their website for real-time information. Hawaii Forest and Trail reached out to me the other day to share this update with you folks. They are launching a limited time volcano direct hiking adventure. It's a full day experience. So it's only going from December 1st to the end of January of 2026. They may extend it, but if you do have any guests visiting the island of Hawaii, I jump on that opportunity. And then last is Friends of Pu'uhonua Ohonau Now. That's on the southern end of our island. They're actually doing a collaboration with Apple TV and the Chief of War series. So they're taking clips of the show and they are teaching and doing demonstrations about these unique practices of Hawaiian culture. And then I know that folks tend to ask about, how can they give back? How can they care for Hawaii when they visit? And, there's so many different ways. There's volunteering, of course, such as planting a tree or beach cleanups, but there's other ways to support and help Hawaii remain sustainable, whether if it's visiting a local farmer's market or shopping and eating local or donating to one of our amazing organizations on islands, such as Friends of Hawaiʻi Volcanoes National Park. Another way is taking the pledge. So it's a campaign that we created in collaboration with the County of Hawaii. And so if you're building itineraries for your guests, you're more than welcome to use this Pono pledge and to share with your guests, as I know they tend to ask what can or can they not do when they visit Hawaii. So this is a really great reminder and very helpful for your visitor.
E ku I ka pono ke kipa I Hawaii. I drive street pono on the island of Hawaii.
E nane I ka ikena, ole hoi e ki I helehewa I ka pule ana ole.
I will mindfully seek wonder, but not wander where I do not belong.
E nihi ka hele na I ka uka o puna. Mai pula le ka ike a kamaka.
I will not defy death for breathtaking photos, trespass, or venture beyond safety.
E mālama ia ke kai a me ko honua, a e mahalo ia ko laila mau ola lohiu mai kahi mau aku.
I will care for the land and the sea and admire wildlife only from afar.
Ho'ohiki ka maka I ke ahi a ka wahine, e ahi ena e a ka hele.
Mountain lava will mesmerize me, but I will not disrupt its flow.
A ole e ka ili ia ka hai, e waho ia ka pohaku, a me ke one I kona wahi pono I.
I will not take what is not mine, leaving lava rocks and sand as originally found.
E nana pono I ke kai, a ole e huli kua ia.
I will heed ocean conditions, never turning my back to the Pacific.
Ke loko mai ka ua I uka, e awa I Hawaii maka ole.
Rain falls inland, I will remain high above ground on the rivers and streams.
He ali I ka aina, he kawa ke kana.
I will embrace the concept of being a steward of the land, revered as my loving chief.
E apo I ke a'o a ho'ohana, a e oi mau kana awao.
Those who apply their teachings increase their knowledge.
So, and with that, I do hope that you will take the pledge and share it with your guests. It's been such a pleasure to share the island of Hawaii with you folks, my island home. If you would like to save our contact information, I have Deanna's information as well as mine. You can scan the QR code and it'll save our information directly into your phones. And with that said, I'm going to pass it on to Christopher, who's going to share with you folks more about his property at the Mauna Kea Resort.
Thank you, Kalei, and aloha, everyone. I'm Christopher Shoes, the Area Leisure Sales Manager with the Mauna Kea Resort. I'm just pulling up my screen here for you. And today I am also joined by our area leisure sales specialist, Alexandra Alvarez, who is based at the Western Hapuna at Mauna Kea Resort. And she's always our in second line of defense for you. So you may interact with her at some point, and she may step in on my behalf if I'm away from the office. And she also facilitates some of our travel agent programs as well. But without further ado, I'm really excited to share a little bit about the Mauna Kea Resort, as well as some really exciting updates. So here is a wonderful look at the resort. And I love this image here because it really helps you understand the layout of our two hotels and the resort concept. So we are located along the Kohala Coast, about anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes north of the Kona International Airport. And our two properties here that I'll talk about each individually, the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, which is an autograph collection property, and the Westin Hapuna Beach Resort are side-by-side hotels that do make up one cohesive resort experience under Mauna Kea Resort. So Mauna Kea Resort is comprised of the two hotels. Also in this space here, we have two championship golf courses, as well as homes, residences, and villas scattered throughout. And here we offer a stay at one, play at all concept. So which is very rare for Hawaii. I've sold other destinations where this is maybe more common. So this is nice that you have two different styles, price points to be able to cross-sell, yet you still have full access to the entire resort. Now, you know, there is a misconception, although this is my favorite island, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but this has always been such a special place, as Kalei has, you know, unveiled for you. But there is a misconception that there are not beaches on this island, and that's just not true. However, if beach is something that is a must for your clients, although there is much to explore, do, and see on the island aside from beach, we often become the first natural choice because we are set on the two best all-natural white sandy beaches here on the island. You will not find another hotel that has their toes in as pristine of a sand setting as we do. Now, as far as transportation between the two properties, in the evening, we do offer a dining shuttle that can take guests back and forth between the hotels, but we also have two walking pathways. Along the lava rock formation here between the two hotels, there is a historical trail that guests are invited to take. Mauna Kea Resort actually gives back in the way of maintaining this portion of the historical trail. And then there also is another more smoother pathway through the golf course and the homes. And both of those can take anywhere from about 20 to 40 minutes. I know that's quite a range, but it just depends how leisurely, you know, or how quickly you're walking or jogging. You know, are you doing a stroll along the coastline trail, or are you doing more of a jog through the homes and residences? Here is a closer look at our beach setting on Kauna'oa Bay, where the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel does sit. And this is not photoshopped. This is natural. This is all white, sandy, and sandy bottom. And you're able to walk out in the ocean here quite a ways where the water is, just mid-body level, and the water is quite tepid as well. Now, if you're not familiar with Mauna Kea Resort or Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, it is a fascinating property. It is a historical and very iconic hotel. And I don't have time to go into the entire story and legacy behind it today, but I'll give you just a little tidbits. This property did open as the first luxury hotel on the island in 1965, built by visionary and philanthropist Lawrence Rockefeller, who was sort of invited over to the islands at the time to help create new jobs as the sugarcane industry was coming to an end, and also to help expand tourism. And so we are actually coming up on we're in our 60th anniversary, right? And so there's some exciting news that I'll share beyond that. But Rockefeller, being the visionary and philanthropist that he was also naturally very fascinated with world religion, culture, and so there's actually an entire art and artifact collection that he had curated specifically for Mauna Kea Beach Hotel. We have over 1,000 museum quality art pieces and artifacts from around the world. I mean, some really fascinating pieces such as 7th century, 16th century Buddhas. We will actually do an art and history and architecture tour of the property once a week to sort of share that story and the legacy with our guests, and to share what makes it such a special place. Now, I'm not just trying to sit here and dump facts and history on you, but all that to say that a stay at Mauna Kea Resort offers much more of a meaningful and enriching experience, aside from just selling, any other hotel with a beautiful room and a wonderful beach setting. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this is just something very, very special and quite unique. Now, the exciting part is that we are emerging from what we're calling a season of renewal. We are coming out of a $200 million renovation that began April of last year. And with that said, I'll sort of walk you through the timeline here. So it's a really exciting time. We only have 252 rooms in total. So although the structure may look quite large, we're much more of an intimate property. Last year, we started by closing down our main tower, and which is highlighted here in orange, and we were selling only about 80 rooms out of our beachfront wing, the unhighlighted section of the property. Earlier this year, we did reopen our main tower, and this is what that looks like. And these are our rooms. So we have been selling and occupying only the renovated rooms since a good portion of the year, beginning of this 2025. But these are our much refreshed rooms in the main tower. Keep in mind, the hotel, when it was originally built and constructed, was mid-century modern design. Not only was the design, but the architecture was revolutionary at that period. And tradition, if you can't tell, is something that is very, very important to us in maintaining. So you will see sort of some of that come through, but this is much more of an updated and sophisticated take on the original design. But you're not going to find better ocean views than what you just saw in the previous slide. But here is a look at our Golf Vista rooms. So in our main tower, we essentially have two views. You'll have ocean facing and then Golf Vista. And we also have the porcelain tea sets in the rooms. Now, the original hotel did not have televisions because Rockefeller wanted this to be a true sanctuary where guests could come, unplug and rewind, right? And this is before, this concept of unplugging was sort of mainstream. Several years later, when the hotel did incorporate the modern television, they did have sort of like a cabinet or shutters where you could create the illusion that the television did not exist. So we have re-implemented that. Obviously, a lot easier to do nowadays with flat screens just behind there. And you see subtle touches of our iconic or signature orange, placed on little cultural inclusions. We do have some of the largest and widest balconies in many of our rooms along this coast. And you can see our updated restrooms. Water filtration is a big thing. So we have now water filtration or purifiers installed in every single one of our rooms and guest suites. We actually do provide guests upon arrival a set of these reusable metallic water flasks in their room. And that this is a way for them to reduce on that single-use plastic, and then also have a souvenir from Mauna Kea to take home with them. Previously, we did have water stations placed throughout the resort, but this is much more of an elevated experience. This is a look at some of our larger suites. Now, our suites are quite impressive and quite expansive. We have several types, but they have these very wide accordion-styled windowed doors here. And you can see just how much room they do allow for. Then just literally a couple weeks ago, so this is very, very new, we did reopen our beachfront wing with the remaining 80 rooms in that area and a lot of the space over in that portion of the resort. At this time, we are essentially calling almost everything that was pre-existing with the hotel before renovation is complete. There's just a few areas that we're continuing to, finish out, and I'll share that with you. So, but here's a look at the rooms that just got released back into inventory in our beachfront wing. Again, it's very similar aesthetic, but just slightly different to distinguish between the two towers. And maybe you noticed curtains in some of those original slides. These were just beginning renderings, but we have gone with the sliding shutters in all of our guest rooms and suites in both towers. Now, one thing that makes it very special and fun for me to sell Mauna Kea is its storied legacy. And if you can't tell, I'm a little bit of a hotel geek, so I do worry sometimes about losing some of that soul and character when you do any renovation and then obviously a project of this scale. But I'm very, very pleased to see little touches such as in this image here, you will see original terrazzo tile that we found as we pulled up flooring to make our model rooms for the project, and they've decided to restore that and incorporate that into the new guest rooms and experience. Again, just showing you the water filtration. We do provide, robes and slippers in the rooms for each and every one of our guests. Look at our suites in the beachfront. And then there's just a couple areas that we are continuing to work on beyond this point, and we are expecting to be completed with these features. Q1 is what I'm hearing loosely. As we approach, I may have a more clear exact date or sort of timeline for you. But one of the most fascinating pieces of what is yet to still come is an amazing spa, fitness, and wellness center area. Sorry, I get so excited because we've never had anything like this on property. We don't really have a spa. We have a couple treatment rooms that are sort of tucked off and not really ever talked about or mentioned, but this is really going to elevate not only Mauna Kea's standing and star rating, but this is really going to elevate the concept, the guest experience, in that we will have a huge outdoor and indoor area with several indoor and outdoor treatment rooms. We will have all of the hot and cold vitality and plunge pools. So you'll have the full water circuit area or hydrotherapy circuit. We'll have some outdoor area to house any of those group activities or group classes or instructional classes. But you will see, just keeping, again, in theme with, our tradition and honoring the past and what Rockefeller's original vision was. This rendering here depicts, if you see this bronze sort of structure here with the Swiss cheese-looking holes, this is repurposed steel from the old sugarcane mill on Maui, and it was conceptualized that we would bring this over and install this as art and as a wall in that space. Here is a look at the fitness center that's also going to be in that area. So we're going to open up and expand the fitness center so it won't be so dark. We're going to really brighten it up. But the one notable point is that we will now have a second pool on property. So we do have our main everyone pool, which has just reopened as well a couple of weeks ago. But this second pool will be an adults only lap pool in that fitness center area. Now, the fitness center is also going to be state-of-the-art with all the equipment you can imagine. We will have the cardio section, which will be multi-tiered. And then again, as I mentioned, we'll have full ocean view. So it's really going to brighten up that space and get our more active clients inspired for the day. But, as Kalei mentioned, sustainability, is not only a global initiative that, is something that I personally resonate with, but because of Hawaii's global positioning, literally geographically, it is something that we need to be very, very mindful of. So we do a lot, all the island chapters, all the hotels do their part, but here's just a few things that we do. So we do have our Ulu Garden, which we've just updated here and have beautified. So we do have sort of like a chef's garden, and also at our sister property next door, the Westin Hapuna Beach Resort, we do have a chef's garden there. And I'm not sure exactly about this number, but I do know that it is quite high. I was told recently, or I think I remember that it was about 70% of our produce, offered in any of our culinary menu items are harvested here from on property. But our guests are welcome to, there's a pathway that sort of walks through where they can sort of get a look in and see that beautiful space. Another area that we are really, really excited about is an area that internally, secret, we sort of dubbed it as the ruins, but it is not going to be anything like that in the near coming future. So it was the area behind our beachfront wing, which was sort of an abandoned tennis courts, but we are turning that into additional guest parking. So this will be much more of a convenient space for our beachfront guests to park rather than on the opposite side of the property and having to walk. Not that it's a long walk by any means, but just another element of luxury here. But we will also we're in the midst of completing, I just saw this space a couple of weeks ago. It is looking really great. But we are building out a keiki discovery garden for the kids. So we will have, a tree house, we'll have a rope bridge, we'll have, a flowing garden, local flora and fauna, some areas to do some cultural activities. We have also renovated our golf course. And, I don't golf, so you have to forgive me, but I'll give a couple talking points here in that, our golf course, both of them actually, are championship. This course was also revolutionary at the time because, we sit on the lava rock. And so they had to come up with a new mechanism to sort of grind up that rock and form the golf course. But our original golf course here, Mauna Kea golf course, is world famous. It is in any golf book you'll ever see in any bookstore, but it was designed by Robert Trent Jones. And it features the most photographed golf hole in all of Hawaii, which is our signature hole number 3, which has the shot over the water. But we did renovate the course earlier this year. This is not what it looks like now. It has all grown back in. It's beautifully lush and green, but this is just a look at what that did look like. And here you can see the hole number 3. But it's also one notable point for any of you that do golf, or if you have clients that golf. Robert Trent Jones was the original designer. I know that we had his brother Reese come back at some point, and then this year with the renovation of the course, Robert Trent Jones Jr. Came over and helped us oversee the redesign. So we are now, I'm told, the only golf course in the world that has been touched by 3 members of the Trent Jones family. And then so just stay tuned with some more exciting updates. If you have any questions as far as the new product or any of the timelines or just any specifics on the project or to learn more about Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, please reach out to me and let me know. But I have... we also have lots of activity here. So we have not only our own luau, but we have no resort fee on top of a complimentary beach club. So all the water activity, all the toys is all included. I will let you know that our welcome experience does include not only a lei greeting, but also our oshibori towels, our sparkling wine, and also either the sparkling wine or our passion orange guava juice. Now, I noticed, Devin, you came back online. Do I have just another couple minutes or are we done?
I'm eager. You have all the time you need. Go ahead.
Okay, so sorry. So just jumping over next door, we have the Westin Hapuna Beach Resort. As you can see here, set on another gorgeous white sandy beach. And Hapuna Beach is also renowned, has been awarded many accolades throughout the years, including Best Beach in America by Condé Nast Traveler. This is an all ocean facing property. Some folks see this Westin logo and instantly think it is another Westin property on another island. But just to remind remind you, this was formerly the Hapuna Beach Prince Hotel. And then 2017, 2018, it had a $50 million renovation that also came with a rebrand. But here's the sense of arrival there. And a look at our rooms. So a little bit more of an, contemporary look here, but we do have some of the largest rooms along the coastline. And, the worst view you're going to have here is a partial ocean view. Also, no shortage of activity on this side of the property. Although we don't have a complimentary beach club, we do provide 2 hours of free snorkel gear rental and free sand toys for the keiki. But also one thing I do want to mention is our cultural ambassadors. So we have many cultural activities, and I won't talk about all of them, but there is one that is very special, and I've done it several times. I just, did it about 2 weeks ago on property. It is our morning e ala e, which is sort of a ritual to greet the morning sunlight and set your intentions for the day. So Hualani and a couple of our other practitioners do a beautiful job with that. Just to look at our dining options there. So again, you have sort of 8 dining outlets in total to experience between the 2 hotels. And this is very brand new. I have just my finishing slides here, but brand new for the Westin is Islander Sake Brewery has moved in-house with us just across our driveway by our pro shop. So that is a third-party entity, but it is really neat that they are brewing sake on property. They have special tasting events, so take a look at their calendar, and you can also buy and take home any of their varietals. We're a very different property that we have over a 70% following of legacy repeat guests, not just repeat guests, but legacy repeat guests who have been coming to us over and over with their families since, the very beginning years of the hotel. With that said, many of our guests, will come to the property and spend a lot of their time in-house with us, maybe because they've explored parts of the island already. But if they don't want to commit to the car rental for the entirety of their stay, we do have the ability to rent to our guests a vehicle from our fleet of Teslas that are split between the 2 hotels. It's reservable by an app, and the vehicles can be rented by the hour, by the day, or by the week. And then just taking a look here, again, just reminding you of all the sustainability initiatives that we do take part in. Similarly here with the reusable water flasks and our chef's garden and our in-house beehives. So in closing, just want to show this image again, being that so you understand the full concept. Now that I've shown you both sides of the property, both hotels, here's the layout again. So, there are many hotels in Hawaii that have resort in their name, but I truly believe that between our 2 hotels, we really do offer a cohesive resort experience with all the activity, a high level of inclusion, and the ability to easily get back and forth between the 2 hotels. You have several activities, including, ability to do that historical coastline trail. And again, just reminding you with the visual here that we do have our toes in the sands on the 2 best all-natural white sandy beaches here on this island. But keep in mind all of our special offers and updates. We have lots of different promotions always happening out there. This complex, the Mauna Kea Resort, has been very generous this year and next year in opening up applicability for any of your consortia amenities. If any of you are consortia affiliated, you can apply those up to most of our public promotions. Whether you see that in GDS or not, reach out to us or our reservations team. Lastly, I promise this is our reminder to please register with our Plumeria Rewards program, which is a 2-part system. It does 2 things for you. One, it allows you to go online and request that a welcome amenity be delivered to your client on your behalf, complimentary to you, along with a personalized note from you. At the same time, our system will keep track of your bookings, and for any stays of 4 nights or more, you and your account will be awarded points that can then be redeemed for either complimentary nights for yourself or hotel credits for either you or your clients. So this is a way for you to not only have a sales tool in the amenity, but also this is a travel perk for yourself, or you can use your points again as another sales tool in using your points to cash out for hotel credits to either VIP some of your better clients or help you close a sale. So with that, I know that was a lot of information, but I am so grateful to have this opportunity with you and to be included with this. This island is such a special place, and this is a very exciting time for us here at Mauna Kea. If I or our team can do anything for you or your clients, please do not hesitate to reach out. So with that, I'll just offer a big mahalo, and I'll turn it back over to Devin.
Thank you, Christopher. Those properties both look absolutely stunning, and stunning island as their home. Okay, agents, I just want to remind you, if you have any questions, to please put them in the Q&A box and we will get to them. We have a question here from an agent, and I think this would be a very good reminder. Can you please explain again, the difference between the many Hawaiian islands, the big island? Like, just give us the full overview, 101 again, please.
Absolutely. So we have eight main Hawaiian islands. So it gets a little tricky because if you do work with the island chapters, you will find we have only 4 island chapters. So we have my island, which is the island of Hawaii. You have Kauai, which is on the northern part of the chain. You have Oahu, which is generally the direct destination, more cosmopolitan, but of course they have town and country experience also with the North Shore. Then you have Maui. And so Maui, their island chapter represents Lanai as well as Molokai. So those are the primary islands that can actually be visited out of the 8 main Hawaiian islands. So Kauai, Oahu, Maui, Lanai, Molokai, and the island of Hawaii, aka Big Island.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, people just often say, "Oh, I'm going to Hawaii," and they don't specify. So as a travel agent, you really need to know there are different islands. They all have kind of like their own flavors. And the island that we've been talking about today is the Hawaii Island, also referred to as the Big Island because it's the biggest island.
Yeah, and I guess when Kamehameha united all the Hawaiian Islands, he didn't really think about the impact by calling his kingdom Hawaii, that the overall impact of it eventually becoming a state, and we still had an island named Hawaii. So it gets really tricky. So
well, it's kind of like New York State and then like New York City.
Yeah.
So think of it like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Christopher, I have a question here for you. Now, Canadian agents are quite used to all-inclusive packages. So I believe your resorts are not all-inclusive packages. Can you touch on the meal situation a little bit, please?
Yeah, so I will say, yes, there are no true all-inclusives in Hawaii, but this is where I used to sell that in that space. And so for me, it's really fun to sort of speak that language, and I love what Mauna Kea has to offer. So although we're not a true all-inclusive, I'll just mention the things that I would mention to your clients if that's what they're asking. So for one, we do have, again, that stay at one, play at all concept. That's huge because you have 2 properties essentially to play with. So although we're not talking about what's actually included as like a tangible food item or that, you have access to the facilities, the beaches, all the restaurants. So that is very unique. So there's a lot more space to play in. So there's value in that. Also at the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, we do not have a resort fee. So already there's an inclusion for you. And then again, our beach club is fully complimentary. And so, you just hear beach club complimentary, but here's what's included with that. That is all the water toys and activities. So that means all the boogie boarding, paddle boarding, surfboarding. Sometimes I slip up and say snowboarding, but that's not true. But we also have the snorkel gear rental. And we do now have 2 new experiences that are run out of our beach club, which are an afternoon sail. And then we also do a traditional outrigger canoe paddle program. So those are quite unique to us, and that's all included. And then we have sort of the other facilities, if you will. So, we do have the tennis courts and pickleball courts. And so I guess I would say that we just have such a high level of inclusion already, and then the immediate access to a lot of these other facilities and outlets. And then most of our promotions now, at least at the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, are including breakfast. So again, not a true all-inclusive, but that's a huge one. I think that's a big one. And our breakfast buffets actually at both properties here are quite expansive. No one's leaving hungry. And so that often is included with a lot of our promotions. So I will say that. And then, you know, some of our other promotions do come with additional hotel credits as well.
Okay, that's very clear.
Can I add also to Christopher's comments also? So for my fellow advisors, you know, if you're working under a wholesaler too, I would check with them what kind of specials that they may have with certain brands, whether if it's a Marriott or Hilton, or if you do work directly with any of these particular brands, because they do tend to get a little bit more creative, especially in this climate, you know, to accommodate your guests. So I would check on that as well. And like Chris said, you know, the hotels are such as Mauna Kea Beach Hotel are getting very creative with their packages. It may not be an all-inclusive, but it almost seems inclusive when they're including breakfast in the rate and you get all these amazing amenities on property.
Thank you, Kalei. And I will just say one tidbit on top of that you triggered my mind on. You know, hotels, all of us do our part to support you in the best way that we can, but I will say I've never worked for a more genuine and generous hotel company. That's not saying we're giving it away for free, and I'm not promising you anything here, but I will say, you know, we want to do everything we can to welcome your guests. So if there is something that is like a make or break, our team is all ears all the time. You know, we have a revenue director who is his motto is get to yes, get to the yes. So please, if there's something, although, you know, I can't promise what the answer will be, we will hear and evaluate anything that we possibly can do.
I love that. Get to the yes. That should be everyone's motto. Okay, let's keep it under an hour so that the agents can be here to win the prize, but also if they have other things to do, they can get on with that. So Carla, is there anything else you want to say? Maybe some final words of inspiration for the agents?
Really, just don't forget to register at the Hawaii as a Hawaii destination specialist. So a couple people asked, but it's agents.gohawaii.com. This year, our shows will be in Toronto, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Every year they kind of switch it up a little bit. So those are the 3 areas we're going to. So if you're in those areas, you're not a specialist as of yet, I encourage you to register and then just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you get a personal invite because I believe the invites may have been sent out today already. That's it. So mahalo to everybody for coming. Thank you.
I thank the 3 of you for joining us today. That was a very comprehensive presentation on the island. I think we're all inspired to go there now. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to the agents for joining us today. We're going to pull the prize winners offline and let you know tomorrow who the winner is. And we will see you all again soon. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Devin.
Mahalo.
Thank you.